Hey Tribe, just a little while ago, earlier today, I read a message from a friend of mine, a very dear friend, where I asked how he was doing, and he said that he was trying to be as positive or keep his heart and head as positive as possible at all times. I think that there's a common misconception that we need to be positive thoughts and positive vibes and in a good mood all the time. Let me tell you, life doesn't happen like that. There is a duality in all things. It's called yin and yang for a reason. Even a pendulum swings both ways for it to actually make a motion. The waves of the ocean flow in and out. It's the ebb and flow of life. Even a heartbeat has got an up and a down in the way that it actually gets measured. I think we make the mistake to think that everything should be moonshine and roses all the time. And my response to him was that I think sometimes it's not a bad thing to explore the negative side. He was talking about positive. I said to him to go and explore some of the negative side because it's in those moments that you can go and explore and that you can process and that you can heal, you can deal with, and you can move on. And that's ultimately where the magic happens. I previously referred to something called the dark night of the soul. And we go through those a few times in our life. For many of you, many of us, have gone through quite a few, I guess, in the last 2 years. When you are really forced, your circumstances forces you to really go and do some introspection and go inside and really go into some of those childhood traumas and the stuff that we've experienced throughout our lives. And in doing that, the intention behind that is that you will go to those dark places or those negative places or those hurtful places or those places within your heart and your mind, your soul, your memories that were traumatic and sore, were difficult. And the idea is to bring them to the light, bring them to the surface so that you can process them with a newfound wisdom, a newfound perspective, and ultimately heal from them so that you can leave them behind and move forward. Now, if I think about the amount of work that I've done, especially in the last 2 years, it's been intense. It's been hard. It's been difficult. And mine, in particular, I can remember, I think, happened when I got COVID during December of 2020. I was kind of stuck and locked in my space for about a week before I was, by myself. And in that time frame, I was confronted with what I call my demons. And it's not demons in the entity sense. It's the things that you shy away from, hide away from, the things that you're not prepared to confront and deal with. So what happens is that the emotions like loneliness and depression comes with, and it's at that time of moment I said, well, I have time on my hands. Come in, let's have a cup of tea. Let's drink something. Let's discuss this. Let's kind of like see what comes out of it. And I honestly believe that a huge part of my latest evolution started during that time frame. And I've realized a lot of things that have happened to me during my life that has molded me into the person I thought I was. I am, but it's not. And in having those conversations ultimately with myself and with my higher self, there's been some incredible healing that has taken place for me. But I think if I look at how many people out there don't even know that they have these suppressed feelings and emotions, let alone are prepared to go there and go to those places that are hurtful and sore. But let me tell you, that is some of the most liberating moments of my life, is if I can go there and there's moments and things that I can think of, talk about, and they don't trigger me anymore. It means that I've really healed from a lot of that stuff. Doesn't mean that I'm completely healed. It doesn't mean that everything in my life is gone, but it just means that I've made the effort and I've committed to the process and the journey to heal and evolve myself. So I really urge you to, when you are triggered by people around you, when you are triggered by things around you, to actually try and understand where they come from and why that's happening. Because it's there that you need to start unpacking and going through those emotions. And it's in doing that I really hope that most of you will find some form of peace. We are living in some interesting times at the moment, and they're definitely going to go down in the history books, that's for sure. And I know that, maybe there's some changes that one can make instead of just being caught up in this matrix all the time. For one, I have said this before, is to stop reading the news, listening to the news, and everything that you're being bombarded with from the main news channels. You cannot believe everything you hear and you see. It's not possible. It's not good for you anyway. Then stop buying into the narrative that the world is coming to an end, because it's not. There are the most incredible things happening as we speak. And a lot of the chaos that we are experiencing at the moment are actually for the greater good. A lot of evil needs to come to the surface. The planet itself also needs to start digging up some of that nonsense and bring it to that stuff so we can get rid of that, the cancers and the things that are being managing our governments and societies and our world. So all of that stuff needs to also be cleansed. Start thinking for yourself. Start thinking what really rings true, and if your heart and your gut tells you that this is something that you should buy into and believe. Many of you have the ability to have discernment, and you can think for yourselves. And you can very clearly start seeing that some of the things are not adding up that we are being told about the world and how things are playing itself out. So just think for yourself. Then people, take some freaking action about changing your life. Yes, I've also caught myself when I want to some nights. I actually sit and maybe just want to unplug with Netflix. However, is it really the best way to spend your time? Reading a book, listening to music, being quiet with your mind, and doing some of the soul work might actually benefit you in the long run significantly more than some of the latest series and binge watching. Maybe then get some movement. Moving, getting yourself out there, taking a walk, taking a stroll, taking a jog, getting into the gym. If not, you can do multiple exercises at home. There's so many options for you on YouTube, things that you can follow. And I really believe that there's a lot of things that you can do right now that will significantly change the way that you live your life. It will add so much more benefit to you. And I guarantee you that within days, you'll start feeling better. So last night, I was actually I did some work on a new business venture. And I finished work, I call it work, I finished this presentation at about 10:30 last night. And you know what? I wasn't tired. I was so inspired. And it really made me wonder how many of us are stuck in a reality and in a world that we don't like or that we hate. We don't like our jobs. We don't like the people we hang around with. We don't like the things that we do or don't do. And it's so easy to start blaming the world around us instead of taking ownership. But if you had to really be honest with yourself and think and ask yourself, are you really tired? Are all these things really so bad? Or are you just completely uninspired with the life that you're living? And if you are, what are the things that you can do to get more inspired and become more in flow so that you can ultimately start living the life of your dreams? There is the most incredible technology being developed in this world as we speak. There are going to be the most incredible revelations and things happening in this world within the next coming immediate future. And I'm hoping that you can start seeing and opening your eyes and your heart ultimately for the amazing abundance that we have around us. Even when we don't necessarily have all the riches in the world, we are still abundantly blessed by so many things around us. Our health, our senses, the things that make you so specifically, uniquely you, are all gifts that only you have. And I really hope that you actually go and you say thank you and you are grateful for these amazing things that you have in your life and for the amazing human being that you are. Again, I'm sending you so much love and light. Please share this video if it made sense and if it added value, if you think that somebody needs to hear it. Subscribe to the channel and give me your feedback and comments, because I'd really like to know what you think. And if there's any topics you want me to chat about, feel free to pop them in the messages as well. Again, love and light, beautiful beings.